because this is Sunny Sytch today. Monday, actually. This was her walking into a courtroom to face a Florida judge and receive a 17-year prison sentence for crashing into a car while driving drunk. And that car, sadly, had a 75-year-old man in it, and he was killed. And when I say drunk, I mean hammered. Her blood alcohol level was 4 times the legal limit. It happened in May of last year, just 4 months after Sytch got out of prison for another DUI. Yes, 4 months after she got out of prison for another DUI, she did this. And can I tell you, even that other one was not her first one. So no doubt, prosecutors call her a, quote, danger to society. But Sytch's lawyers say she has mental health issues and boyfriends who abused her. And if you are wondering what Sunny Sytch had to say to the victim's family, because they were right there in court too, here you go.
When I sit alone thinking about what I did to the last her family that tragic day, from a stupid decision, I feel the regret and remorse deep inside my soul.
So she was sorry. It doesn't bring back a 75-year-old man. I want to bring in Mark Geragos, criminal defense attorney and co-host of the Reasonable Doubt podcast with Adam Carolla. Geragos, you know, she didn't get, welcome, by the way, it's nice to see you. She didn't get the 26 years. And the family wanted her to get the 26 years. Why didn't she get the max 26 years?
You know, there's these cases are interesting, and I've defended them, and it's very, very difficult for a lot of people to understand that maybe 30 years ago, Ashleigh, well before you were an adult, that these kinds of cases, usually people, you get in a traffic accident with a DUI, kill somebody, and not much happened. There was a sea change, not the least of which was because of Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. And when I say a sea change, I mean astronomical, to the point where in California, for instance, you get charged with murder now if you, on DUI that involve death. And that's a murder, what's called an implied malice murder. But there still is a segment or segments of society that think, and I've seen lawyers who will say, I'll defend a drunk driver. They would never defend a murderer, an accused murderer. There is a distinction in a lot of people's minds. And I think that permeates the criminal justice system still in certain areas. And here, you know, I think part of it is this idea that nobody gets up in the morning and thinks generally when you're a somebody who is convicted of drunk driving with these horrific consequences. Nobody gets up and says, I'm going to go out and kill somebody. But if you get so, what was your term, hammered or wasted, that you then end up hurting or killing somebody, you're going to suffer, unlike when I first started practicing 40 years ago, you're going to suffer real consequences now.
Yeah, well, and she's driving with a suspended license. This is her 4th DUI in 10 years. I actually want to bring in another celebrity. And I say celebrity because Sunny Sytch was a big celebrity, but, you know, she's had a really hard life, and you can see how hard, you know, jail and prison has been on her. Her before and after is, you know, astounding. It's like Lori Vallow. She just went from 60 to 0. Tiffany Haddish, 2nd DUI in 2 years. And it doesn't seem like she's taking it very seriously. And I say that because she did this in January of 2022, and she went on the Jimmy Fallon show, and she made the following joke about being arrested for DUI. I want to play it for you. Take a look.
Want to talk about it or no?
Well, I can say this, Jimmy.
Okay.
I've been praying to God to send me a new man, a good man. And God went ahead and sent me 4 in a uniform.
So, you know, a lot of people laughed. But then when this just happened over Thanksgiving, her 2nd DUI, she actually made the same joke on the stage at the Laugh Factory. This is TMZ audio. Take a listen.
I pray to God to send me a man with a job, a career, preferably in a uniform. God answered my prayers.
Geragos, I don't know if she, has such a problem she can't even keep her jokes straight. But, joking about DUI at this point, maybe not the best idea. Good people make mistakes. But at what point do the rest of us have to sort of, be willing to be their victims because they're likable?
I've always made the argument, I suppose, that on a DUI, that the first time it shouldn't be as draconian. The second time, you really, especially now in today's day and age, remember, before there was a Lyft, before there was an Uber, I remember vividly clients in my office saying, I can't lose my license in Los Angeles. How can I drive? I can't get around, blah, blah, blah. Well, you don't have that issue anymore. I mean, I remember as recently as 15 years ago, people saying I have to hire somebody to drive me because otherwise I lose my job. Well, that's not an issue anymore. Mm-hmm. I have a lot more sympathy for the first and sometimes the second. After that, obviously, you've got an issue.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.